Hello class 11 students, welcome to the business class. We are on chapter number 2. This is the second video relating to the chapter. Today we are going to discuss on joint Hindu family business, which is the second form of business organization as per our syllabus content or as per the concept given in the chapter forms of business organization. The first one was sole trading concern, which is also known as individual entrepreneurship or sole proprietorship, where we understood how a single person bears all the risk and enjoys all the profits because he is the sole owner, manager and controller of his business. That form of business organization was easy to form and close. The liability of sole trader was unlimited. Business and the owner were not having any separate identity, and the business of course lacked continuity. So in today's class we are going to understand about joint Hindu family business. Means it is the business which is carried out in Hindu undivided family or the joint Hindu family. Okay, this business is very unique form of business in which is found only in India, correct? So we can say that a business owned and carried on by the members of the Hindu undivided family is known as joint Hindu family business. It is governed by the Hindu Succession Act 1956. The basis of membership in this business is birth in a particular family. The business is controlled by the head of the family, who is known as Karta, and he is the eldest male member of the family. All the other members have also equal ownership right over the property of ancestor, that is ancestral property, and they are known as co-partners. Correct? So this is the oldest form of business organization found only in our country. Now, the business is owned and carried on by the members of Hindu undivided family. Basis is membership by birth, and 3 successive generations can be members in the business. The business is managed and controlled by the eldest male member, who is known as Karta. The decisions of the Karta are binding on all the members. Correct? Now, all the other members have equal ownership right over the ancestral property, and they are known as co-partners. Here I would like to bring to your notice, or this is to let you know that there is a difference between ancestral property and self-acquired property. Ancestral property is one which is inherited from father, grandfather or great-grandfather, whereas self-acquired property can be got from a relative or from personal source. Correct? This is not simply inherited by personal because he is born in that family. So ancestral means property that is got by birth in a particular family, but self-acquired either from a relative or from personal resource. Correct? Now, before few years there were 2 systems. Now they have not been recognized, Dayabhaga and the Mitakshara. So I just can inform you, Dayabhaga was prevalent only in West Bengal, where both male and female were co-partner. Mitakshara was prevalent all over India except West Bengal, where only the male members were allowed to be co-partners. Now come to the features. First, formation, 2 members, and there should be ancestral property and does not require any agreement because membership is by birth. Liability of all the co-partners means all the other members is limited, but the liability of Karta is unlimited. Control, Karta controls the Hindu undivided family business. He takes all the decisions and manages the business. His decisions are binding on other members. Continuity, the business even continues after the death of the Karta as the next eldest member takes up the position of Karta. However, if the other members of the family want the business to be discontinued, then the business will be terminated. Minor members, the inclusion of any individual means on the birth of a child, he automatically becomes the co-partner, means he will have the right over the ancestral property over and also over the business matters. Now merits, the control is effective because Karta has to take his decisions and they are binding on all. Continued business existence, the death of the Karta will not be affecting the continuity of business because the next eldest male member will become the Karta. Okay, female members also can become the Karta because now the systems are not prevalent. So better we can say that the next eldest member will become the Karta. Next, limited liability of members. As told you earlier also, only the liability of Karta is unlimited. The co-partners means the members except the Karta have limited liability. Increased loyalty and cooperation. Since the business is run by the members of the family, there is a greater sense of loyalty towards one another. Means they feel that their business is owned, so they will be loyal and cooperative. Demerits, limited resources because the property is ancestral. There might not be much possibility for expansion and growth. So the result is that limited resources may block the growth and expansion of business. Second, the liability of Karta is unlimited. Not only is his burden with the responsibility of looking after the management of business, controlling the business, but of course he has one big disadvantage, that his liability is also unlimited. Means his personal property will be used to repay the business debt. Of course, the other members will also have to contribute, but first the Karta's liability will be there. All his personal belongings will be taken into consideration for paying outside debts. Next, dominance of Karta. This is the problem faced by other members of the family business. The Karta, as he is individually managing, at times he may not be very much efficient or his decisions are not judicious, and so they may not be acceptable by other members, which may lead to conflicts among them and even break down the family unit. Once the family is divided, of course the family business which is undivided will now also be divided. So dominance of Karta leads to the closure of joint Hindu family business. It's rightly showed. See how the conflicts may arise. Next, limited managerial skill. No, since the Karta is the single person who is managing the affairs, though the other members of the family might be supporting him in the decision making process, but then how his skills may be limited, because see, it's a tendency of every human being. If success is there, we all try to give importance to our contribution and try to highlight that it was due to my contribution that the business is successful. So all the other members also might be doing that, but when the business is suffering from loss, then at that time Karta is only left alone. He is solely made responsible for the decisions, though all the members might have contributed their viewpoint towards taking that decision, but finally he will be held responsible and he will be treated as incapable due for the poor profits or losses of the organization. which will be proved disastrous. Correct? So these were the merits, demerits, features. Hope you have understood the concept, features, merits and limitations or the demerits of the joint Hindu family business. Correct? So this is important. This business is owned, carried on by the members of the Hindu undivided family. Hindu Succession Act governs this type of family business. Membership is on the basis of birth. Eldest member looks after the business, known as Karta. The other members are known as co-partners. Hope you had enjoyed learning this. Meet you in the next class. Till then, have a good time. Bye all of you.